The hair tattoo is like, basically, it would be like how mine is on the sides. It would just tattooed on, yeah, so it looked like tattooed
That's insane
stubble.
to me.
You know what? I've
Do
seen
you know
some
anyone
people.
that's got them?
So I think I've seen some celebrities with it. I can't name any right now off the top of my head, but I'm sure I've seen it.
No one in your circle's ever had anything done?
Oh, no one in my close circle now. No, not that.
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What, the tattoo or the...
The hair transplant.
I've seen a hair transplant. A couple football managers. I'm not gonna beat them up on it. If they ever watch this, though, like,
Do you know what? I won't judge a man. As long as the man feels good in himself after he's done it, that's all that matters. As long as he's happy, cool. It's his life. Who am I to judge?
Welcome back to another episode of the Goodman Factory. I'm here with two of my brothers today. We've got Goodman Rizzy, we've got Goodman Mike. We're here to touch on a topic that can affect all of us, but at the moment has only affected me. And it's something I've done a video about recently, talking about hair loss. So I brought my two brothers in who don't have the issues that I'm facing right now, just to talk about it. We've had so many people comment, a lot of interaction on the post that have gone out. So we thought, let's go into a bit more depth. And yeah, what are you man saying? Like, in terms of, let's just jump into it, right? In terms of going bald, is it something you think about? Is it something you worry about?
I want to say daily, but it's not. I don't think it's that deep. I'll be honest, but it is something that I feel like us men do think about, especially if you've got a full head of hair and a lot of your friends don't, or if you start to see thinning and all the rest of it. But
So it's at the back of your mind.
At the back of my mind. I wouldn't say it's at the
I
forefront.
think it's always at the back of my mind.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, especially every time I go barber, there's times I've noticed it's getting thinner hair. Even grey hairs.
The grey thing, I'm not too, that's a little bit of a stress for me, but the balding thing, because I went bald early, like,
How early?
I'm talking like, it first got highlighted at like 21. Don't you dare, like, I was man, man just laughing at my pain, you know. Like, it got highlighted at 21. I was in, you know what it was? The corners started to go black.
See, I've noticed that. I've noticed the corners are pushing back. But what I did was I just went on Google and Googled like, what do I actually put like to encourage hair growth?
I've done exactly the same thing.
Serious?
Yeah, like
I just started attacking it straight away.
Yeah.
Rosemary.
Oil, peppermint oil,
and
then have
Season
a
in your
carrot
hair,
oil.
yeah.
Bro,
there's another one called mix
Season in your corners.
MIX.
Is it minoxidil?
Minoxidil, that's it.
I never used that on my my corners because I felt like apparently the hair falls out first and then it grows back, and I couldn't risk.
I think I noticed that because I used it. I used it in the corners. I didn't see a difference. Then within 6 months, it kind of like it encouraged growth. So it actually works.
I was gonna say minoxidil apparently does that, but they done an experiment on like peppermint oil and rosemary oil, and apparently it has the same effect with less side effects. For the man them that really want to maintain or
I'm gonna
keep
start
hair.
using rosemary
Honestly,
oil.
You know, the blessing with this year is you're able to just Google.
Yeah.
Go on YouTube, and like, we're talking 15 years ago. Like, I didn't have a platform that was talking about it. I didn't have the option of like, obviously Google was there, but it weren't like, the information weren't there. It was literally, there was a company in London, Victoria, Belgravia Hair Loss Center.
Right.
That was like one of my first choices. I was like, let me go there. So I went there, and you go in there and you're waiting and you're sweating as it is, because you're like, and there's bare man going in and out, and then I had my appointment, so I go, and they're looking at my head and they're like, yeah, we can help. Yeah. So what they said is, we can't bring back the hair that's gone, because at this point it was like thin. It was thinning out like all over. They're like, we can't bring back the hair that's gone, but the hair where it's starting to thin even more, if you take the lotion and the tablets, you can bring that back and hold on to it. So I was like, okay, cool. It would have been about £3 a month. Yeah. It would have been, it was expensive, but the worst part was the side effects were that it can affect downstairs.
What? No, it's not that deep.
Because it reduces your testosterone. It does something. Yeah.
That's where I think that's where I draw the
So
line.
all right. So if I brought it to you, man, now, yeah, and I said, you can take a dip downstairs, yeah, but maintain the hairline, or all of it's got to go.
Wow.
I'll shave it off myself. I'm not affected now.
So you're,
Yeah, I'm not taking a dip
good.
downstairs, especially where I haven't had kids yet. So nah, no.
2 kids. I saw.
all right, but here's the thing, yeah. What if it wasn't guaranteed? It was like, it could happen.
What?
So if you take this, if you take these tablets, yeah, there's a 30% chance that it could affect down there. But you know, if you don't, there's a 100% chance that hair's going.
I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah, no.
I'll be the unlucky person. I
always say that.
30%.
I don't think it's worth it. Did you take?
No. I left there more depressed because I was like, rare, like I'm not sacrificing that. So this is it now. Like, and then the next step, I remember seeing this cricketer, this old white cricketer on TV late at night doing this advert for, it was like infrared hair, like they could bring it back through infrared. Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool, let me go look into that. And that was like $4,000. Yeah.
Crazy.
And I was like, no, it's too, there's nothing like, that's when I got more depressed because it was like rare. There's no hope. Like you see when you're holding on to, all right, there's this and there's that, it was like, there's no hope.
Yeah.
So then depression, I literally started to get a bit more depressed, and I was having my eldest at the time, and I had the curls on top. Like, so it was that hair was everything to me, yeah? So then when you know, I've always said this, losing something is different because a lot of women commented and spoke about women changing their bodies or something like that, and men going to get hair transplants, and they almost compared it. Yeah. And I'm like, if a woman's changing her body, she's trying to get something she's never had before. If a man's trying to get his hair like done, he's trying to get something back that he once had. Yeah. I feel like it's two different things.
Yeah, it's not exactly the same.
But when you man are like going to the barbers or whatever, as you're getting older as well, are you, like you mentioned, you're noticing your hairline going back?
I've noticed it going back in the past.
In the past?
Yeah, I've managed to revive it now. So.
But do you think sometimes that's just where the barbers push the hairline back a bit?
No, I actually noticed it. I saw a difference. I was a bit worried. The hair was thinning in the corners.
100%. I noticed basically, so I've got two stories basically. I had the same thing about the corners and the hairline not growing back as quick. So there's that. But then also I've realised with recent, right in the centre, my hair's thinning and it's making this like N shape. So I would have the double McDonald's thing on my head.
Yo, it's not M for McDonald's, it's M for millionaire. Swear to Stormzy.
That was it. Literally. But I'm having that thinning in the middle and I don't know what's going on.
See, for me, like I said, corners went back, and then I'm in the barber chair, a different barber cutting my hair, and he can see the back. I can't obviously see the back.
Yeah.
And I just remember him trimming, and he was like, oh, you're starting to thin, loud. Like, loud. I swear. I had to, like, I knew, innit? I was like, oh, yeah, it's probably just the products I'm using. As if, like, if I just stop using the products, it's going to come back. But then I left there and I was like, no, it's real now, innit? Like,
since he's announced it to the
it's
whole world.
real, like, because you can't see the back. A lot of people focus on the corners, but I think naturally as you're getting older, your hairline isn't going to be
as strong anyway.
You look at the young boys, 14, 15, and you're like, their hairline's crisp, innit?
Solid, bro. I can't even see their scalp. But when they get a low haircut, I can't see nothing. Oh, obviously, so I was going to say you can use enhancement or the spray and the paint and all the rest of it, but some of these, man, natural hairline is so solid. I don't understand. Like, I want to ask them, like, is it the genetics or is it just like...
But a lot of it's the spray though. That spray that, you know, the barbers are spraying on the head now.
Enhancement, yeah.
It makes it look a lot more, makes your lineup look sharper.
So that's one of the things I wanted to touch on. Do you think there's more pressure on like the younger generation when it comes to like looking fresh with your hairline and haircuts? Because now, you see it on TikTok, there's like barbers and their hairline's so on point and everyone's trying to get this perfect shape up. Yeah, but to me, not everyone's got that hairline. So I almost feel
I think it's the same pressure because I remember when I was young, a lot of boys in my school were obsessed with the idea of having like the perfect hairline. So I think just history repeats itself every generation. Young people always feel like, oh, I've got to make sure my hairline's intact. And then as you get older, you realize, things change.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw one of your posts about trying not to get too attached to your hair. Your hair is not you per se, but I still feel like, especially as a young man, I don't know if you remember that stage where probably mid-teens or late teens where you just wanted to grow your hair for no reason. It wasn't even neat, but you just knew that was it was almost like a mane. Yeah. You just wanted that hair on your head. In the summer, you didn't care. In the winter, you didn't care. You just wanted hair on your head, and it was massive. But
I get your point.
Like it's part.
I get your point about not being attached to hair. Because if it goes, then what?
You have to almost reinvent yourself, almost, or refine yourself, if that's even a word.
like, obviously your hair's short, so it's kind of like, it's already sorted kind of thing. Like you probably, like, do you have to do anything do you spend time on your hair in the morning? Like, do either of you really, yeah?
I'll talk you through my routine, man. I'll let Rizzy go first.
So I like condition and wash my hair like every 4 days, I would say. And all I use is, honestly, I use Goodman beard oil in my hair.
Serious?
Yeah, I rub the oil on my edges. I may use a bit of castor oil and mix it with the Goodman beard oil.
Yeah.
Mix it together and then rub it in my hair. And that's it, literally.
But that's a daily thing. The oiling is a daily thing.
I'll oil every 3 days, let's say, because I don't like when my hair's got too much oil in it.
Yeah.
I feel like mine is similar. I use the Goodman beard oil and I mix it with the peppermint and the rosemary oil. They say you should use a carrier oil. Sometimes I use castor oil as well. I mix it all together and just rub it into my hair and then brush, do-rag. But I'll usually do that after the shower so my hair is damp.
Do you know what? I saw a few comments on the poll saying that do-rag affects your hairline. Is that true?
I think it does. So it kind of like reduces circulation.
Right.
Because these men wear
How
it all
tight
day.
are you having it though?
So that's the thing. Some people wear it too tight. Some people wear it all day, every day, until they go into an event and then they take it off, kind of thing. I would only wear it for half an hour to an hour max.
Yeah, because you can't breathe.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The tightness,
especially around there, yeah. So some people start losing hair there first on the back of their head because they're wearing a do-rag too tight or they're wearing it for too long. You need to let everything breathe, literally. So I would only wear my do-rag after the shower, after I've moisturized or oiled my hair and my beard, put the do-rag on, and then as soon as my hair feels dry, which is usually half an hour to an hour, I'll take it off.
I know you're enjoying this conversation, but I'm here to remind you that this episode is sponsored by Goodman Beard Oil, plant-based, chemical-free beard oil to soften and moisturize your facial hair. Order now, goodmanfactory.com, and use code GPOD1 and become a good man today.
So if you're reflecting back on your high school self, what was the routine like then?
It was a lot different. It was a lot different.
Slapped on anything. Product, yeah.
A lot of petroleum-based products used to go in my hair. I was putting Blue Magic. Remember that?
That thing is not expired.
Was that the wax?
Huh?
Was it the wax?
Yeah.
You have the wax ones, you have the ones that are like thick creams and all the rest of it. I've still got, I bet you now, they put so many parabens in there.
It don't expire. It don't expire. You can have it.
That thing's older than my son. He's 8. Bro, that thing's at least 2 decades old, bro.
Like, literally, like, so I used to grow an afro when I was young. So I just put petroleum-based Blue Magic in my hair and then afro comb, just comb it all out.
See, now here's the thing, yeah, because we say products can cause hair loss, yeah, but you man have just said you used to throw a whole heap on. Yeah. And we're in different positions.
See this?
We're in different positions. But how much weight do you think that there is in that, in the sense of the products are causing the hair loss?
Oh, that's a good question. You know what? Honestly, I think genetics has a huge part to play in your hair. And from my dad still has hair till this day. He just decides to shave it all the time, but he does grow hair. My mum, I remember when she was 40 years old, her hair was long. So I would say I get it from my parents. But the products you use does affect your, how your hair grows.
Yeah.
But would I still have hair like this if I was still using those products till this day? Because I reckon I stopped at the right time. For the past 10 years, I've not used any petroleum-based products in my hair. So it could be different if I was still using those products.
Because there is the myth of like people that are bald. It's like my mum used to say, oh, it skips a generation, or like it's on your mum's side or your dad's side. There's so many different stories about hair loss running in the family. Like, have you heard any myths as you've grown up? Like,
Yeah, they normally say if you go bald, it's because of genetics as well. But I think it does play a part in a sense. But when they say, for example, some people that go bald have beards, is because of the genetics that the hormones that help you grow a beard are the same hormones that block or cause you to lose hair. I've heard that as well. I've actually researched that as well.
Really?
so
That's
wait,
crazy.
every man here has a beard. Does that mean you're eventually
Yeah, but
losing?
you've got the mega beard.
Yeah, that's the thing. So my beard, I feel like it's not as thick as yours, but
Yeah.
it could be because
I've never had my beard at that length.
No?
That's goals.
my hair would just starts to do this thing, like it looks like wires when it tries to get that long. It just doesn't look good. But I think there's genetics do play a part as well. And like Rizzy said, if I was using the same products as I was when I was a teenager or early 20s, my thing would have been there. Like,
Yeah, I reckon my hair would have been gone.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I used Esco.
Let's go.
Yeah.
that thing there. Nah. If I'd use that now, I would hear the sides like sizzling. Bro, there's no way I could use
The
that.
thing
in my
is,
head.
I would go to my friend's brother. First got me into it because I would see his hair, he'd have these crisp curls, yeah, and then I was like, oh, what'd you put in your hair? And he's like, oh, do S-curl. He was a couple years older, but he was a barber, like, but in the estate, barber in the estate. So I would literally after school go round there to get my hair cut, and I'd be there from like 7. I'd be there till like midnight. Still one trim, because it would start, stop. He'd go DJ for a bit on the side. He had turntables. It was like this. Man knew if I was getting a trim there, yeah, I'm gonna be there for hours. Like, and yeah, I remember he put S-curl on, and there was times when I would do it myself, but that stuff would burn. That burns if you leave it in too long as well. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'd leave it in just a little bit longer, just to be like, you know what, I just wanted, yeah.
That might be a huge part to play to the hair loss.
No, because this is what I say, yeah. This is where my idea of like the myths just go out the window, yeah, when it comes to products. Is because most people put products in their whole head, yeah? But you're only ever gonna lose hair on top.
Right.
No one loses their hair around the sides. So if it was the products, then you'd lose everything.
So why is it just...
Because I think that is male pattern baldness. Like, that is when men go bald, it is on the top. So I don't think it's product related. I personally think it's genetics. If you've got it, if you're gonna lose it, you're gonna lose it.
I'm still not a believer in that, bro. I can't lie.
It's a mix of many things. There's many factors, but one thing that we've not mentioned is stress. Stress also plays a big part too.
I think, you know what it is? I think with stress, it can speed up everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, illnesses, hair loss. Yeah. I think if you're on a path to it happening, stress will just pick up speed.
You know what's crazy? There was actually a point where I started losing hair in the middle of my head.
As in your crown?
Yeah. Like I had a bald patch. Like there was a patch where there was literally no hair growing. And that was a time where I was like, I was so stressed out that I noticed that I'm losing hair because I'm stressed out. So...
But that becomes alopecia though, doesn't it? That's like a form. Because I've had patches in my beard.
Right.
When I've been mad stressed, I've noticed like, it's normally on the same side as well. There'd be like a light patch and I'm like, damn, like imagine.
I don't know why we didn't even speak about stress first, actually. It's true.
Stress plays a big part.
When I wasn't sleeping enough, there's a lot of things going on in my life, and then the corners started to go. That same middle thing.
Man won't let go of the middle
Nah, I
finger.
can't. Because
Vegeta.
everything else is, you know what I mean? Everything else
Regina.
is like straight, but this bald patch that I have when I comb my hair back, yeah, it's. I feel like it is related to hormones, stress, and all the rest of it. But when I'm stressed and I have a lack of sleep, it messes with my hairline straight away, and then my beard feels thin or wiry. I can tell the difference straight away. So if I have 2 consecutive days of no stress and good sleep, everything goes back as normal. It's so weird, but it's real. It's real.
I feel like stress is a major factor, but it's also something that we could probably do a whole episode on stress in itself. But like, when you man feel like you're getting stressed, are you already putting steps in place to prevent that, or is it when you see the effects stress is having on like your hairline or your beard that you're then like, you know what, I need to fix this?
Yeah, I think me personally, sometimes I'm very reactive instead of proactive. So I won't prevent the stress. It's only when I'm in the stress that I realize that, okay, I need to do something about it. But I wish I was more proactive, to be fair.
Yeah, I think when I was younger, I used to just get on with it. I wouldn't know that that was stress because you hear about the thing stress, 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 but it's like, what is stress? But then when you're affected and you see the symptoms, then you're like, oh, so that's what my body does when I'm stressed out. But now I know my body, like I feel like I've mastered my body now, so I can feel stress coming. I can feel it in my joints. At certain areas of my body feels tense, and then I start putting like self-care practices into place, so like to prevent the stress.
And that's key.
So you have to know your body. You need to know yourself. I think that's very important.
Another thing I want to touch on, how important do you feel like diet is when it comes to like your hair, maintaining good, healthy hair? Do you feel like diet plays a key role?
I'm sure it does.
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you noticed anything? Have you noticed anything about yourselves full stop? Like when, obviously there's the easy one, which is weight gain, yeah? But if you're just going through a phase where you're just eating a madness, do you feel like you can visibly see the effects it has on you?
Yeah, definitely.
What kind of things do you notice in yourselves?
Like, for example, if I'm being reactive again and I see my hairline's thinning and all the rest of it, I check if I'm using like my multivitamins. I check my diet. I check my sleep patterns, and also make sure I'm taking like biotin with zinc. So I like to do a lot of research on the biology and all the rest of it. You know, I love Google.
But how important is the research? Like, because some people don't do it. Like,
Yeah, I feel like it's a key, let's say, component in trying to sometimes prevent stress, but also trying to find answers to certain things that we were never taught when we were younger. So sometimes our parents will say something that's very almost mythical, but there's actual science behind why this happens or that happens to your body and all the rest of it. And like you said, obviously we understand our bodies now, but sometimes it may have happened to someone that you don't know. So someone might have the same thing as that. Keep talking about that center thing. So when you Google it or when you try to research or do some more reading, you realize that it could be related to this or that, and you need to do this to prevent it, or you could do this to bring things back. So for like research, especially related to yourself, is very important because it helps with the self-care. It helps with preventing stress. It helps with just maintaining a certain level of just health, let's call it.
You know the thing though, I get more stressed when there's too many options. So for example, you've mentioned 101 oils, yeah? And like that would stress me out. I'd be like, oh, okay, which ones do I need? When do I need them? All of this, because there's too many. I'm a simple guy where it's like, just tell me the one thing I need. Like, because I stress myself out when it's like, okay, do I need this or this or this? You mentioned castor oil and and you mentioned rosemary
And peppermint.
turmeric. Like, massive.
I've heard ginger oil as well. Apparently, I've heard that as well.
Do you know what? I would advise just making a mixture.
Yeah, 100%.
There is nothing wrong with having multiple products and mixing them together. Sometimes I use like Nala's Baby, which is a cream for kids, and I'll mix that with Goodman beard oil and rub it in my beard.
So you know the thing I've always thought, yeah? If you're using so many things, how do you know what's working and what's not?
This is the issue.
Do you know what I mean? How do you actually know
what's working?
You know what I do? Again, from the research, I'm joking, but like, certain oils do similar things, so you don't necessarily need peppermint oil, for example, and rosemary oil. But if you want to simplify things, you can. But I like to put everything in it because I know this will help with that, but it might not help with the strength of my hair. This will help with the circulation, but might not help with the moisturization of my hair. So if you just cross them over and you don't have to put too much, a few drops here and there. Like some people recommend 5 drops of whatever mixture you've made, but some people will literally pour the whole bottle and rub it into their beard, and I'm sure that's not good for you.
Yeah, I could never do that with castor oil. Castor oil is too thick. So it's just like just a few drops with
Whatever
whatever.
you come up with, whatever concoction you make.
You know, one thing I forgot that I didn't touch on before. I actually went to the doctors when I first started losing my hair,
Right.
because that was like,
And what did they say?
because I was young, it was like, to me, I shouldn't be losing my hair. And they recommend, you know, doctors is like just general, innit? Like they're not specific, they're not specializing in one area. So they're kind of probably Googling themselves. They gave me, I think it was like a spray, or it was some like lotion to just use, but it was steroids. It was like a steroid lotion of some sort. And I was using that for time and it wasn't working. And I don't know what that was putting on. But but in my head I'm like, okay, it's recommended by the doctor, so therefore they know what they're doing. It was a steroid lotion
spray. They always do that. I don't know why they recommend steroid sprays for
to hopefully
certain things.
increase blood flow into that area.
Right.
Because that's what it's meant to be, isn't it? It's a reduction of blood flow into your follicles, or
I don't know. No one's spoken about the derma roller. So I've started to use that on my skin and my beard and my hair.
Does it work?
I feel like it works. It helps. Well, it's scientifically proven to work.
So it's everything.
But I feel like you're saying, because you can't really determine if it's the derma roller or that one oil, or is it a combination of all of them? You can't really tell. But
You know what? I strongly believe in just using a bit of everything. Just use everything.
it's almost like a balanced diet for your scalp.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Because all these different oils have different use cases. So as long as you're using, you know, a bit of everything, then it's down.
It doesn't matter
It's
if
about
it's
to
just
use.
the one.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I realised though, I feel like men full stop at the moment. We're very not fit. I'm not saying we're like women in the sense,
Say
but
it.
we're becoming
But
more
using-
like that when we care about, we've got to use this lotion and that lotion and all of this, and we're very mindful of how we're looking. But I don't always feel we're mindful of what we're putting into our bodies as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, what good is, I'm going to McDonald's every day, but I'm using Goodman beard oil in my hair and doing all of that. Do you see what I'm saying?
This is why we have conversations on health. This is why we have conversations on like mental health, because it's not only your physical appearance. Like, we're a platform that raise the importance of self-care, both mentally, physically. So this is why we have conversations on diet, you know, lifestyle. It's not just about the outer appearance and the products you're using to make yourself look nice, but also what you're feeding into your brain, by the content you're watching, the books you're reading, the films and shows that you're watching.
It's your overall diet, your environment, everything.
Everything plays a part, you know.
But everything you put in.
But you're right, it's way deeper than just the products you're using on your outer appearance. What are you putting inside your body? I know you're enjoying this conversation, but I'm here to remind you that this episode is sponsored by Goodman Beard Oil, plant-based, chemical-free beard oil to soften and moisturize your facial hair. Order now, goodmanfactory.com, and use code GPOD1 and become a good man today.
I think it's important to note as well that there is the natural, like, we're not going to be able to slow down the aging process. Like, when every man here and every man watching is going to get old at some point. And I said in the last video, there has to be an element of embracing that. Yeah. And a lot of people struggle with it. Like you man's hair, it's on point. I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie, yeah? But in 10 years' time, it may not look the same. Because that's the natural progression. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's rare that you see a 50-year-old with the tightest hairline. There is a bit of a U shape to it or whatever in it. But do you feel like does aging worry you?
It don't worry me.
It's inevitable, really. So I don't really focus on oh my gosh, I'm gonna get old. What do I do? Or I'm losing. I don't know. I'm losing my hair, or my hair's going grey, and I feel like embrace it. Really, realistically, as much as you can, you're trying to hold on to your hair now, for example, because we're specifically talking about hair. But I feel like just embrace the change. You're naturally going, like you said, we're naturally gonna get older. So
Evolution, right?
yeah, why not just
That.
embrace it?
Do you know what? I think it's that thing of like people being too attached to the way they look now. Like over time, I think it's just part of life that, you know, things change, you know, and you're not gonna always look the same. No matter, you can try your hardest to, but you know, life just will throw reality at you, and you know, I've accepted that I'm gonna age. Like, it's a beautiful journey,
100%.
you know. But I was surprised by a lot of the comments that I saw from men, a lot of young boys below the age of 20 that said, like, after watching your video talking about hair loss, that they felt depressed. Like this, watching this video is depressing, facing the reality that they're one day gonna lose hair. I don't really perceive it as something to be depressed about. It's just life,
I
right?
think it's a massive confidence thing though. Like you feel better. Like if every man here had on certain garms, we're gonna feel more confident going out. Yeah. Then if we had like, I don't know, holes in our top or whatever, like it's a confidence thing. Yeah. You want to look your best, and people naturally think if I'm losing my hair, I'm not at my best, or if I've put on weight, I'm not at my best. Do you see what I mean? So I think it's a major confidence thing there, which you only really get over once you, like for me anyway, once I fully embraced it, like, all right, I'm going bald. Nothing I can do about it now. That removing that freed me up.
Yeah.
Like, because the process, like you man have said, like, okay, I'm losing the corners and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna try this and I got that sounded like stress to me. Like, because you're in that zone of like, I want to hold on to it as long as I can. So what do I need to do in order to hold on to it?
So you just surrendered.
Once I gave up, I was like,
You're a free man.
I'm
heard that. You're free, yeah.
So when I do see certain men that are like doing the most, or they're thinking of this solution or that solution, I'm like you probably like just accept it. Like, have you ever thought? This is one of the things I thought about when I was going bald. Yeah, just shaving it off to see what you'd look like.
You know, so mad. I thought about that the other day.
I thought about it. You know what? I think I look okay. You know.
I don't know about my head. I can't lie
I
to you.
feel like it would give you that sense of, you know what, worst case scenario, if I ever do go bald, this is how I'm gonna look, but you know you can grow hair. So there's the comfort of, well, it's gonna come back for now. Because I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna look. I don't know how I'm gonna look. And how I look at it is, you got short hair anyway. So man out there that have short hair, you're not gonna look different.
Not that much, yeah.
You have a little idea of what you're gonna look like.
You can see your head shape. Like, I feel like you'll be fine. I genuinely feel, because you've got your hair short.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I still feel like I'm fighting for the short hair bros now, right now, yeah. Even though you can tell my head shape because my hair is quite low, I still feel it plays a major part in the way I look. That I won't look, obviously I'm going to look different because I've got no hair at all if I take it all off.
I'm trying to imagine it now.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't explain it. It's not going to be...
I've had my hair like very low. In the summer, I had my hair low. And when I looked in the mirror, I was thinking, you look like an uncle, you know?
Man, talking to yourself, that's what I do, bro. I'm just like, nah, man, look at myself.
I look like an uncle. I was like, you look like an uncle. I said, bro, I need to grow this hair.
Honestly.
Do you feel like one of the things that most people do when they start going bald is wearing hats?
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Hat after hat after
Do you
hat.
think that's more... In the past, I used to see it all the time. Why are you wearing a hat, bro?
That was me. That was me. No matter what I had on, fitted hat would... Even if the fitted hat did not match the colour of the outfit, if that's the only fitted hat I had at the time, that would go on my head. Because it was this like fear of like, oh no, I don't look. I wasn't accepting it myself. And everyone was like, oh, you look... Once I shaved it off, I can't imagine you with hair. I can't imagine you with hair.
Yeah. People get used to it. It's about what people are used to. So when I cut my hair, I would always say, oh, I want to grow my hair again. And some people would be like, what? Like, I don't know how you'd look with that. But when I had hair, loads of hair,
Yeah.
people would be like, oh, I can't imagine you with no hair. So I think it's just, you have to get used to how you look. If you've cut your hair, then it just over time, when people get used to seeing your head like that, they don't know anything else other than how you look now.
Yeah.
So
do
it's
feel
always
like
going to look weird once you do it. Like, oh, I look different
Initially,
now.
yeah.
But it's just for a little moment. And when I see men with like always wearing that hat because they're not confident about their hair, to me, I think that's very sad, man.
I think it's sad, and like I said in the previous video, men that are just holding on to the last piece of hair as
The
well.
little curly bit at the
The
top.
little whatever it is, like whether it's the comb over,
Come over. God.
or I look at certain men and I'm like, you know what? The ones I don't like, where they've actually got hair grown out at the sides. Yeah. Like, so they go to the barbers and they just get it tidied up. It's normally white people. Yeah. But it's like they get the sides tidied up a bit, but there's no hair on top. And I'm like, why would you not just shave it all off?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it suits some of them, man.
Nah.
Am I the only? Well, I'm not, I wouldn't say me because I'm not shaving. If that falls off, everything's coming off.
Yeah, imagine that. You just got the sides.
But for some man, I feel like it just suits them. I think if you shave that off, you're just. The logic is you should shave everything off because you've got no hair there and you've got a lot of hair on the side. But I feel like it suits certain man. I can't lie.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
I'm not saying for me. I'm just
I was
saying
gonna
for
say.
If I noticed that my hair was going, I'll go bald. Like, completely bald.
So let's touch on that, yeah? Just a few more points. At what stage would you say it's time?
The moment I get the
How
M.
far would you let it go?
The moment I see the M, there's no Vegeta around there.
I don't want
No
to start
Vegeta.
my name on my head.
So you'd rather bald it than
Literally.
you'd rather bald it than have the hairline go further back.
Yeah, because I've seen some. Have you seen some of those shape ups where the sidebars are up there, and then you got the little? Nah, bro. I would say cut everything off. I'm not doing this because I'll get you get people just look at you like that's bro. Just take it off. It's fine, Mike. It's fine. Just take it off.
I don't think there's a problem with being bold. I know I've got a lot of men around me that are bold that have no problems attracting women.
That's the thing.
And they feel confident in themselves, which I find inspiring. So if they're okay being bold, then I'll be fine being bold. Like,
There's a niche.
What am I losing by being bold?
There's a niche for bald men anyway, man.
Plus, you got your beard as well. So grow your beard, like your beard hairs.
I feel like
Man that can't.
Guys, like,
that's my worry, yeah, is if this went.
no, that won't go.
Yeah.
No, but if it ever went,
If that goes, that's stress.
Yeah. True.
like, that is like, because I got nothing left after that. Like, there's nothing.
Just armpit.
There's not. But in terms of like modern day solutions, yeah. So like, there's people getting hair transplants. There's the hair tattoo. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Some of that looks convincing. It does look convincing. Would you ever consider any of those alternatives if you was going down that route?
I personally just couldn't do it. I just think, again, take it off. It's just too much. That to me is stress. Those kind of not extreme solutions, but for me, it feels excessive. I just couldn't do it. I rate myself in terms of I like to do things naturally and I like to do things, I like to eliminate any chemicals and petroleum and all the rest of it. If my hair wants to go and I've been using natural products, it's gonna go. I'll just take it off.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, I want people to feel confident enough to just, you know what, let me just take it off. I can't bother. It's not that deep. You know what I mean? I'm still Mike without my hair. I do like my waves. Sometimes wear my do-rag, but I'm still Mike without my hair. I can still wear my do-rag. No one will know that I've got no hair under there. You know what I mean? But that's just me. I just think those kind of procedures, for me personally, are just too excessive.
I'm exactly the same. I wouldn't do any procedure. I'll just rock the bald thing. Just go bald completely. Do you know why? Because I feel like by me doing those procedures, it shows that I'm insecure. I feel like I've told everyone around me that I feel insecure without my hair, and I don't want to ever give off that signal into the world.
All right, so if, just playing devil's advocate, yeah, if you had to use one of the procedures, what would you favour?
Hair transplant or the hair tattoo?
Or the hair tattoo? The hair tattoo is like, basically, it would be like how mine is on the sides. It would just tattooed on, yeah, so it looked like tattooed.
That's insane
Stubble.
to me.
You know what? I've
Do
seen
you know
some
anyone
people.
that's got them?
So I think I've seen some celebrities with it. I can't name any right now off the top of my head, but I'm sure I've seen it.
No one in your circle's ever had anything done?
Oh, no one in my close circle now. I don't know that.
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, the tattoo or the?
The hair transplant.
I've seen a hair transplant. A couple football managers. I'm not gonna beat them up, money. If they ever watch this, though, where him like.
Do you know what? I won't judge a man. As long as the man feels good in himself after he's done it, that's all that matters. As long as he's happy, cool. It's his life. Who am I to judge?
No, I feel you. I think it's more of the, like I said before, the accepting, like you said, like accepting it. Because, say for example, your hairline starts going, right? And you're like, right, let me get hair transplant to bring the hairline back to where it was. Okay, but now other parts start going. So you got this crisp hairline, but now the rest starts thinning. Like you saw it with Standard, you saw it with Wayne Rooney. When man first got the hair transplant, it looked fresh. Everyone was like, oh my gosh. And then now, if you look at man, it's thinning all over.
And you have to go back for more, right?
Yeah, but again, I think what they do with people that have hair transplants, they advise them to take the tablet and the tropical solution to prevent the rest from thinning. So remember I said to you when I went to Belgravia, they said take this, it will prevent your hair from thinning. If you have a hair transplant, I'm sure they give you stuff to prevent the rest from thinning, which again may affect other areas.
I think out of the two, I'll probably get the tattoo.
Really? I think the idea of tattooing your head.
It's not, but it looks fairly natural. I've seen it. It looks fairly natural. It doesn't look. It actually looks like stubble for some people. Some people it looks a bit exaggerated, but for most people it looks fairly natural. It looks like you've just shaved your hair off fairly low to stubble level, and it's all over kind of thing.
There is another procedure where they put hair on your head and then they cut it down to like a realistic level.
The weave thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I can't, and all of that, like,
That one is the most insane one.
But just imagine that imagine if I showed up today
with a curly top.
with that. Like,
I said, bro, what happened?
that man just literally, I sat on the sofa like normal. Right, let's do this, yeah? Like,
I was looking at really like, bro, what's going on? You'd be like, no, why are you looking at me like that?
But you know what's crazy? When I see the videos of men doing it, you can see the happiness on their face. Like, I'm back.
Do you think it's those guys that have lost their hair early? Like, for example, that was their identity, and all of a sudden they've lost their hair aggressively, and then they thought, oh, let me go for the weave.
I feel so, like, I genuinely, but my concern, we're going to wrap up here, but my concern is that we always joke as men, yeah, if we go to a woman's yard and we stay over and then you wake up and she looked different than how she was. Yeah. Like, imagine if that woman, like, the next time you meet her, there's no hair, like, or she just catches you on road one time.
And she's like, isn't that Mike? I'm like, covering my face. Yeah, that's crazy. What are you saying? Right? Yeah, that's mad. I can't lie, that is mad.
But I think to wrap up, I think, like we've all said, like, there needs to be an acceptance.
Definitely.
The confidence needs to come from within.
Yeah.
Like, you are not your hair. Like, every man here isn't a product of their. It's something that is a benefit. Like, but I think you've got 3 black men here, all with good confidence, all looking completely different. So just make sure that, be mindful as well. If you're making jokes to people that are going through certain situations, you may be causing them more stress. So I just feel like everyone should be mindful that as we get older, we're all going to go through something. We're all going to lose something or gain something. So just be mindful of that. But like I said previously, love yourself, love who you are, and get to know yourself. So, yeah,
good ending still.
Until next time.
Thank you for listening.
We're out.